A very good afternoon. This is Lunchtime News here on TV1. For the News First team, I am Nushal Tumodra. And before we head into our stories in detail, let's start off with a look at your headlines.
Heavy rains to continue in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces. 2 Sri Lankan Airlines flights delayed. Another flight cancelled. 1 person injured in Mitiagoda shooting. 5 elephant deaths reported from Galgamu and Anuradhapura following collisions with trains. Dhanushka Gunatilaka found not guilty of sexual assault charges. Taiwan unveils first domestically developed submarine.
Now on to a top story this afternoon. 2 Sri Lankan Airlines flights were delayed on Thursday the 28th. Meanwhile, it was also reported that another flight was cancelled.
Sri Lankan Airlines spokesperson Deepal Pereira says that a technical error caused the delay of flight number UL189 scheduled to depart for Dhaka, the capital of Bangladesh, this morning. This delay led to the cancellation of flight number UL153 bound for Pakistan. Additionally, flight number UL141 en route to Chennai, India, experienced a delay in landing due to an issue on an Indian airport runway.
Australian media reported that Downing Centre Regional Court in New South Wales, Australia, has ruled that Sri Lankan cricketer Dhanushka Gunatilaka is not guilty of stealthing a woman.
Dhanushka Gunatilaka was arrested in Sydney on suspicion of stealthing the woman in question while he was in Australia to participate in the 2022 T20 Cricket World Cup. Foreign media reported that they had developed a relationship over a mobile phone app, after which he visited the woman's home in Sydney. She lodged a complaint with the police alleging that he sexually assaulted her at her home. Sri Lanka Cricket took steps to suspend Dhanushka Gunatilaka following the accusations. He was remanded in Australia and a bail request was submitted to the Downing Centre Regional Court on the 14th of November last year. He was released on bail on the 17th of November. Magistrate Janet Walquist set the bail for Dhanushka at 150,000 Australian dollars, which is 37,04,566 Sri Lankan rupees. Attorney Murugan Thangaraj, who appeared for Dhanushka Gunatilaka, pointed out that according to the facts presented, there is no strong case in the charges filed. Court ordered that his passport be handed over and that he report to the police daily. Travel restrictions were imposed on him from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. daily, and he was prohibited from having relations with the complainant as well as from using apps, including Tinder. It also prohibited him from going to the complainant's house or the ferry nearby. Later, court allowed him to use the internet and leave the house. During the case, all 3 charges except the charge of stealthing the concerned woman were dropped. The trial ended on the 21st of September and the verdict was set to be announced today. Judge Sarah Haggett of the Downing Centre Regional Court announced the verdict and stated that Dhanushka Gunatilaka was not guilty of stealthing the woman in question. Attorney Murugan Thangaraj appeared for the accused Dhanushka Gunatilaka.
Anyway, nothing much to say. I think Judge's verdict says everything. I just want to thank people who helped me during this hard time, and last 11 months been really hard for me, and especially for my lawyers. Actually, Murugan wasn't here today, but Murugan Thangaraj and Alan, thank you so much, everyone, and especially my manager, Celine, and my parents, and there are a few people who helped me in Sri Lanka. Everyone believed me, so that means a lot to me. And end of the day, judge say who lies, who not. So the verdict says everything, as I said before. So I'm happy that my life is normal again. So I can't wait to go back and play cricket.
The Department of Meteorology says that due to the southwest monsoon, more rain can be expected in the southwest of the island. The department stated rain of 100 millimeters can be expected in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and the Galle and Muathara districts. Water levels of main rivers are currently increasing as a result of the heavy rainfall being experienced.
According to the Irrigation Department, the Kotapola, Pitabaddara, Pasgoda, Akurassa, Aturaliya, Malimbada, Tihagoda, Matara and Devinuwara regional divisions belong to the flood overflow area of the Nilwala River Basin, and therefore area residents should remain vigilant. Continuous heavy rains for around 3 days have inundated multiple roads in the vicinity of the Matara town. Authorities have notified residents of low-lying areas surrounding the Kirama Ara to move to safe areas as its water levels are currently on the rise. 2 sluice gates of the Polgolla Mahaveli Dam were opened to avoid any flooding that may arise owing to the constant rainfall being experienced in the upper catchment areas of the Mahaveli River since last evening. The engineering office in charge of the Polgolla Mahaveli Dam said the sluice gates are currently releasing 2,060 square feet of water per second to the lower Victoria Reservoir. Vehicular movement was hindered owing to the thick mist experienced in the Central Hills. Authorities have warned people to be vigilant when travelling to the Central Hills, including Nuwara, especially during the extended holiday period.
Level 1 and 2 landslide warnings have been issued for 7 districts. Level 2 landslide warnings have been issued for 4 districts under 2 phases. The National Building Research Organisation said landslide warnings were issued to Ingiriya Divisional Secretariat in the Kalutara district, Pasbage and Korale in the Kandy district, Kotapola and Pitabaddara in the Matha district, and the Anuradhapura Divisional Secretariat in the Ratnapura district. Level 1 landslide warnings were issued to the Nelluwa and Alpite Divisional Secretariats of the Galle district, Walasmula in the Hambantota districts, Agalawatha and Walavita in the Kalutara district, Ruanwala in the Kegalle district, Mulathiana and Athuraliya in the Matha district, Kalawana, Kolonna and Ahaliyagoda, Kuruvita, Kiriyalla, Ayagama, Alapada, Nivitigala and Palmadula of the Anuradhapura district. And on to more news, the Mahaveli Authority of Sri Lanka has announced that water for crops during the Maha season will be released from the 5th of October.
The Deputy Director General of the Mahaveli Authority of Sri Lanka, Nilantha Dhanapala, explained that initially water will be released to the Yoda Ala through Kalawewa. This water supply will benefit areas including Mahailu Pallama, Kattiyawa, Kalawewa and Ipologama. The Deputy Director General added that water for the purpose of irrigation will be made available to all areas belonging to the Mahaveli Authority from the 1st of November.
Now on to more local news. President Ranil Wickremesinghe is set to deliver the opening speech for the State Leaders Dialogue session today, which is the first day of the Berlin Global Dialogue. This is a 2-day dialogue and will be held today and tomorrow.
The dialogue will feature the participation of political, business and social influential figures who will discuss global, geopolitical and economic issues. During this summit, President Wickremesinghe is scheduled to engage in discussions with fellow state leaders and representatives. The German government has announced that these conversations will be led by Chancellor Olaf Scholz. President Ranil Wickremesinghe will also hold talks with the German Chancellor on the sidelines of the summit and is slated to remain in Germany for a period of 4 days.
State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siyabalapitiya says the government hopes to conduct a swift and thorough assessment of taxes in the country. The State Minister expressed these views in Ruanwala today, directing attention towards points highlighted by the International Monetary Fund.
වැදගත්ම දේ අපි දැන් බදු ආදායම ගන්න පසුගිය වර්ෂයත් එක්ක සාපේක්ෂව යම් පැහැදිලි ප්‍රගමනයක් තියෙන බව.
The most important thing is the tax revenue has improved in comparison to last year, but we should improve this further. They highlighted some good points with regard to taxes. We should make the tax management more efficient. Releasing from taxes should be minimized and a proper system should be implemented to prevent people from avoiding taxes. We hope to direct prompt and thorough attention towards this, but the background is industries, the contracting economy and a severely inconvenienced community. But I think we should intervene at a deeper level.
සිටින පසුබිම තාමත් සංකෝචන ආර්ථිකයක් සහ ඉතාම අසීරුවට පත් වුණු ප්‍රජාවක් සමග තමයි මේ කටයුතු අපි සංවිධානය කරන්න වෙන්නේ. හැබැයි ඉතා ගැඹුරින් අපි මේ කටයුතු වලට මැදිහත් විය යුතුයි කියලා මම කල්පනා කරනවා.
News first with the people.
Today is Milad-un-Nabi, a day which celebrates the birth of Prophet Muhammad. Devotees of Islam worldwide celebrated this festival.
Prophet Muhammad was born in 571 AD in Makkah, Saudi Arabia. Born to parents Amina and Abdullah, this child did not get the father's affection from birth. He lost his mother when he was just 6 years old. Although he did not get proper education in his youth, he lived an extravagant life, but later traveled to different areas as a businessman. After gradually gaining the trust of people, he was also known as Al-Amin, the faithful among people. He who preached Islam around the world was made as the messenger of Allah when he was 40. He served as a messenger for 23 years as he guided the people of Saudi Arabia to the right path.
The section of the coastal line which was damaged due to a train derailment in Kolpeti has been restored by early this morning. MJ Indipola said trains are operating as usual along the coastal route at present. At least 6 trains were cancelled due to yesterday's train derailment. As a result, other trains plying along the coastal route were also delayed. Now, a shooting took place in Magavela Mitiagoda in Ambalangoda this morning. According to the police, a 47-year-old was wounded in the shooting.
Police said that the victim was travelling in a motorbike when 2 motorcycle gunmen opened fire at him and fled. The 47-year-old was admitted to the Balapiti hospital. He was a resident in Paniandua, Ambalangoda. Investigations are ongoing since no clear motive for the shooting has been identified.
4 elephants were reported dead after colliding with a train between Abampula and Galgamur.
Railway Traffic Superintendent MJ Indipulage said that the accident occurred when the night mail train, which was running from Colombo to Kangasanture, collided with the elephants. The accident occurred due to a mechanical fault in the locomotive, and it is said that it has been repaired. The express train travelling from Batiklo to Colombo collided, killing an elephant calf and wounding an elephant between 25 and 30 years. Our correspondent reported that the Ganevilla wildlife officials have started treating the injured elephant.
The newly appointed UN Resident Coordinator to Sri Lanka, Marc-Andre Frange, met the Executive Secretary of the UN Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific. The discussion focused on Sri Lanka's recovery and innovative financing for development. The talks also focused on the importance of the regional cooperation to tackle challenges such as climate change and economic integration, which requires multilateral approaches. 31st Atrium of the American Chamber of Commerce in Sri Lanka 2023 was held in Colombo yesterday.
The U.S. Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Julie Chung, and several other dignitaries attended the event.
Sri Lanka's strategic location, strong infrastructure, and educated population could turn this country into a leader in a rising South Asia. In 2023, USAID is providing $35 million to support Sri Lankan businesses and strengthen Sri Lankan governance. The U.S. Development Finance Corporation has provided financial support worth $128 million to companies in Sri Lanka since the start of the crisis, with more money coming in the pipeline. And this month, we welcomed the first delegation of our TIFA, U.S. Trade Representative's Office, to hold talks for Trade and Investment Framework Agreement Council. This visit will lead to an action plan on measures to strengthen trade and investment between our two countries.
Acting Minister of Finance Shahan Singha delivered the keynote address during the event on Wednesday.
Whilst there remains a long way to go, as long as the reform momentum is continued, Sri Lanka has the chance of becoming the textbook case for recovery from a sovereign debt crisis. Sri Lanka's recovery thus far has been underpinned by a focus on deep economic reforms. This has been a crucial aspect of winning back the confidence of both local and global investors. Fiscal weaknesses has been the primary driver of microeconomic volatility in Sri Lanka. Persistent budget deficits due to weak government revenue generation contributed to public debt reaching unsustainable levels. To address this, the government implemented major tax reform that enhanced tax rates in a progressive manner, yielding a 50% growth in tax revenue in the first 6 months of the year. Along with stringent management expenditure, the revenue enhancement has enabled a primary surplus in the first half of 2023, outperforming a key IMF target for the period. This is a remarkable improvement from a primary deficit of 5.7% of GDP in 2021. Sri Lanka has now put in place an appropriate tax policy framework, and going forward, the majority of the gains in revenue are expected to be derived from the improvements in tax administration and tax compliance. Towards this end, numerous reforms are being put in place at the key revenue agencies, that is the Inland Revenue Department, the Customs and the Excise Department. RAMES is in the process of being upgraded with the new version expected to be completed in the coming week. There will be enhanced focus on risk-based audits, digitalization of processes to minimize interaction between taxpayers and tax authorities, registration of persons outside the tax system, and developing an efficient refund system. The government intends to lock these fiscal gains by bringing in legislation in the form of a Public Finance Management Act in the coming months. I think we will do it before the end of the fourth quarter, which will introduce robust fiscal rules and disciplines on fiscal transparency and public finance governance. Public investments will be more focused and targeted in line with fiscal consolidation efforts.
The acting Minister of Finance also made remarks on the external debt restructuring process as well.
Sri Lanka is entering to final stages of debt restructuring process, as important progress has been in engagements with the official creditor committee, China and commercial creditors. Once the debt restructuring process is completed, it will open up greater avenues for Sri Lanka to access external funding and put Sri Lanka on track to attract further foreign investments as well. Sri Lanka's attractiveness from an investment perspective has long been apparent, but has been thwarted by persistent macroeconomic imbalance. The recent economic crisis has been a catalyst for long ignored reforms that would finally put an end to these economic vulnerabilities. This provides Sri Lanka with the opportunity to finally fulfill the tremendous potential that has been suppressed for too long.
The Board of Officials for the year 2023 and 2024 were also appointed during the AGM.
In celebration of the World Tourism Day 2023, Shangri-La Hambantota has launched a series of sustainable initiatives within its premises.
Shangri-La Hambantota has launched a series of sustainable initiatives within its premises in celebration of World Tourism Day 2023. One such initiative is the implementation of an STP water system to optimize water usage. Soap is recycled under the Soap for Hope program. In efforts to uplift local communities, measures have also been taken to employ local talent. As part of the sustainable initiatives, bags have been kept on a decaying tree for guests to collect beached plastics. A program was also held to educate children on segregating waste.
Now on to news overseas. Taiwan has unveiled its first domestically made submarine as it bolsters its defense as tensions with China increase.
President Tsai Ing-wen presided over the launch ceremony in the port city of Kaohsiung on Thursday. US officials have warned that China could be militarily capable of mounting an invasion within the next few years. Taiwan is a self-governing island which China regards as a renegade province and has vowed to reclaim one day. Most observers believe China will not attack the island imminently, and Beijing has said it seeks peaceful reunification with Taiwan. But at the same time, it has warned against Taiwan formally declaring independence and any foreign support. It has increasingly sought to put pressure on the island with its military drills in the Taiwan Strait, including several conducted this month.
And that's a wrap up for Lunchtime News for the News First team. I've been Rochelle Thamodira. For more on these stories and for more of the very latest, log on to www.newsfirst.lk. Thank you and have a nice day.